people always ask me, do you have to target businesses that are close to you, as in geographically close? I think that can be useful. So look, the main way that we look at this is based on the type of acquisition you're doing. So if you're doing what we call a bolt-on or tactical acquisition, which would be a smallish company, it might be a distressed company or a turnaround, or it might be a stable business, but on a smaller scale, then geography is quite important because you probably need to go there. So typically these are companies that are doing between 500,000 and 5 million in revenue. We don't do anything less than 500,000 in revenue, but between 500,000 and 5 million in revenue, you probably need to turn up. You probably need to have some involvement and engagement with the staff, and certainly if you're going to execute a lot of the financial engineering stuff that we talk about on the Harbour Club, that needs to kind of be done in situ. So what tends to happen is it's either close to you, and by the way, close can mean different things to different people. So what is it they say? A fish adapts to the size of its tank. So I live here in Singapore. It's an island that's 27 miles long by 7 miles wide. So for me, if I have to go more than 15 minutes, I feel like I need a passport and a guidebook and maybe even a phrase book or something to survive. So for me, leaving, going too far seems like a really, really long way. But I also know people in the US who are happy to drive 4 hours to go to a meeting, and it doesn't bother them in the slightest. So if I drove 4 hours, I'd go through 2 countries. So yeah, each to their own. Have it, if you're going to do it nearby, you either need to have it within your range, what you think is close, or be able to partner up with someone that's in that geography. So obviously through something like the Harbour Club community, you can reach out and find partners pretty much all over the world. So if you need to find somebody that's local, it's very easy to partner up with local people who you can JV with and have that eyes and ears or feet on the ground in that particular deal. What I would then say though is the other deal structures that we talk about. So these would be what I would call the strategic deals. These are the larger companies. So these are typically doing between 500,000 and 10 million in profits per year, in EBIT. Now at that level of profits, they're typically a lot more autonomous, and they already have a management team in there that kind of knows what they're doing, and they're ticking along a lot more nicely. Those ones you can do without having that geographical presence. Just some Zoom video kind of calls and things like that are normally sufficient. So for example, I've done deals in Australia and New Zealand and Singapore and the UK, US. In that sort of profile, I don't have to be there. Of course, you might pop in every so often, once a year or a couple of times a year, but you don't need to be there on a week by week or month by month basis. So it just makes it that little bit easier. So the smaller tactical bolt-on type deals, yes, geography is important. The bigger ones, it becomes less important.